Like at face value, he's sometimes like he's got it down pat. He's like, yeah, that feels like an evil lord. But at the same time, he's basically just a softie who doesn't want innocent people to die. So today we're going to be breaking down Intergalactic Empire episode 10. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, show your support. Consider subscribing if you're new around here. And if you want to go the extra mile, we of course have the full uncut live reactions over on my Patreon exclusively if you're so interested. So let's get started. Overall, it's very clear we are dealing with objectively the most evil, scummiest, and most down to hell level character in all of Isekai, of course that being Liam. Truly the most evil man, because let me ask you, a nice person say, no, no, no. We will not let the innocents die. I will use them for myself. I will not sit by and let people waste the underling's life. I will not let your morale in me be so low that you're willing to risk your life for me. No, everyone survives because my pawns must survive. Truly the most evil character. Ainz from Overlord is shaking in his boots wondering how he can learn to be so heartless. As Liam is. Like, we walked into this episode with something like a 3.8% likelihood of surviving and winning. Because the pirates came in with a fleet of, let's just say 100,000, right? And we ain't got the numbers. By the end of this episode, which I have to admit, sucker punched me because I truly thought we weren't even halfway through. I was so eyes glued to the screen that when the credits started playing, I said, wait a gosh darn moment, I feel screwed. They cut the episode short. We ended the episode with them at like 80-something% likelihood of winning. 20 minutes, really like 10 minutes because it took like 5 minutes to get started. But either way, in less time than it takes you to finish your dinner, they ended up going to an 80% likelihood of survivability. After our boy gives like the most genuine... I love these moments. I love when a hero, a character, a commander, they give that heart to heart. Where they give such a motivating speech that no matter how bad the odds look, people are inspired. You can think of the moment in Attack on Titan when Erwin just gives everyone that charge speech. It doesn't matter how hopeless it looks, it gets everyone to want to do it. Those moments go a long way, and I think that definitely played a big factor in everything working. It helps that we have Chuny level bullshit that we can pull out Rocket Punch with giant swords where we cut apart a third of the fleet. But it doesn't change the fact that everyone's like, Master, we die for you. Like, it's fine. Like, they're, essentially they had to, switch sides. Unfortunately, if they wanted to live, they had to work with the pirates. Like, we would die for you. They would, die for their people. And he's like, no one's dying. The pirates might be dying. And to be fair, he does try to keep the pirates alive because he wants people to be alive to spread the word of his evil nature. And at this point, everyone's just going to be dead, and those who aren't dead are going to worship the ground he walks on. Hell, one of his goddamn people that he saved from body horror mutilation is in essentially a Code Geass nightmare who's dancing around doing these elegant sword thrusts, and to be honest, I think she might be more deranged than Liam is. She's given a hint of Higurashi, and I don't know if Liam is capable of dealing with Higurashi-level insanity, and I truly think she would be death by snoo snoo if you understand that Futurama reference. But either way, this was good. Like, this episode was primarily a 3D space-oriented combat scene, and I ain't gonna lie, it's my favorite space combat I've seen this season, which is saying a hell of a lot because Gundam is currently airing. But there's two things that really steal the show. The lighting of the sky, and the overall quality 3D models and texturing that they're doing. So, if you look at something like Gundam goes very realistic with it. Sometimes there's some color in the outer space, but for the most part, it's black skies when they're in space. I gotta admit, even if it maybe isn't realistic or whatever, but to be fair, we're in not an Earth-like atmosphere, so you can argue, well, this is why the sky's this way. But either way, having blues and pinks and all that, it just lets things light up in a more interesting way. But the biggest thing is at no point, there's like a handful of shots, very small things if I wanted to nitpick, where I'm like, yeah, that's very like, mediocre. But we're watching hundreds of spaceships continuously fire laser blasts. Like, there's shots where, I have to imagine there's 50 different lines of lasers being shot. And in most circumstances, that would be very like, oh, it's just like, it would look ugly, it'd look disoriented, it'd look jumbled because it's just a lot of mess on screen. No, it all makes it feel like devastating lasers that if you were to interact with them, you would be eviscerated. All of the ships, all of the movements, looked good. Like 95% of this episode, I wouldn't change a damn thing about the 3D. And the 5% I would is so minuscule, it doesn't matter. The fact that I know they're 3D objects, I know they're 3D explosions and lasers and everything like that, but it's not like it's so noticeable. Like, this isn't early 2000s, 2010s 3D where you're like, oh, you know, it's passable, but if only it was 2D. No, I am glad it's 3D. I don't think turning that 2D would have made it any better. And some of the shots sure are 2D, more the up close and personal. But all of the spaceship stuff looked damn good if you ask me, and I really enjoyed it. To be honest, the thing that I really am starting to think about this season after watching the past few episodes of things is that the 3D is exceptionally good this season. You have shows like To Be Hero X, which are mostly 3D, which fantastic. Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, you can look at the latest episode or any of like the second half of the show. Pure 3D character models and fights, and it looks amazing. It's not like, oh man, if only it was 2D. No, looks amazing. This show, constantly, all the space stuff, amazing. I don't know what it is. Now, not all 3D, like, across the board, but in general, shows are getting real good with it. Like, I remember when I first got into anime, when you'd hear, oh, it's the 3D, you knew that shit was nosediving. Now when you hear 3D, you don't know if you're getting B-Stars, 2B Hero X, or if you're getting Handshakers. But damn, when you get the B-Stars, 2B Hero X level animation, you're eating good. Just in general, I'm liking this show. Of course, I'll still get the people who'll come in and be like, oh, you talking about the mid-show of the season? No, I'm not talking about the mid-show of the season. I'm talking about an incredibly clever, fun show of the season where you're watching someone who is so goddamn talented that his butler is saying, if only you were born 100 years earlier, you would have been able to set up this planet in such a beautiful way. But screw it. His massive luck stat, or his negative luck stat, combined with his guardian angel dog, is allowing him to make his people prosper. And as much as he wants to think he's an evil lord, he's the best goddamn lord known to man. And to be honest, as much as he thinks he's going to have a harem, I don't think he's going to be able to control and tame one of these crazy bitches. They're going to take him for a wild ride that he ain't going to recover from. And Death by Snoo Snoo is going to absolutely send him. Great episode. I thought we were going to wrap it all up this week, but I am very happy we'll get to see more. You definitely let me know what you thought of this week's episode down below. Like, I don't think there's a specific moment most people will have as like an overall favorite just because it was one combined badass moment. I suspect most people are going to say that rocket punch turned giant sword swing might be up there for many people, but you let me know your feelings down below. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. And we do have the Patreon where we got the full live reactions. And hey, I do give a personal video shout out to every single one of my patrons if you're so interested. So today we got Fred A, Simon175, Ale, Isaac Thulling, Angia Ramirez, Kamozo Beat, Ryan Lai, Laura Bella Davis, Samuel Soliday, and we also have Konako1110. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.